Hello all of you lovely people, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, and I don't know about you, but I've been absolutely blown away by the changes that we've seen Bray Wyatt undertake with his new Firefly Funhouse gimmick that he debuted recently on Raw. Now, to say that WWE in 2019 managed to resuscitate the Bray Wyatt character through a single segment is as mad as saying like that Virgil will be the new Universal Champion or Shane McMahon landed a punch with any believable impact, and yet somehow it's true. The skit itself was incredible stuff, car crash watching at first glance, but one that belies a true creative endeavour that may annoy as many people as it entrances. Yet whether it's gone over your head or not, it's certainly been turned by this blast of primary colours. And it is this colour that really sells this segment. It washes away the beige promos that flood the WWE. I mean, think of a time when it's not been all, oh, I'm so angry and mad, and here's a black and white image of me working out with metal music in the background. This is the exact opposite, yet it still carries with it this sense of horrifying danger. That voice that starts things off by saying, we're really glad that you're our friend and this is a friendship that'll never, ever end, meant that even before Bray steps out, this sinister undertone has been put in place, and the constant balance between being a kind and reassuring figure to threatening and dark was brilliantly portrayed by Wyatt and his new appearance. Now, Wyatt has been the WWE boogeyman for years, yet when he entered through the door of the Firefly Funhouse wearing a beaming smile, in a flash, it morphed into this piercing glare of menace, and he shut the door behind him with a too loud thud. It just set up the entire skit of a man who was on the verge of insanity, yet still instills within him this battle to be a better person, this violent energy that's barely contained. What I'm trying to say is that everything felt off. This, after all, was a horror villain masquerading as Pee Wee Herman in Mr. Rogers' suburban getup. I especially loved the moments where the old Bray seemed to resurface, with his whispering to himself in his hands and his guttural moans making the screen appear to lose focus. It is clear that this transition is creating a war within him, making these jarring tones even more intriguing. In fact, you can just look at his gloves to see the two contrasting ideals which read hurt and heal. However, he's not alone, as he's brought with him Penny, or Pammy the Witch, it was a bit unclear with the line. Then we've got an unnamed rabbit who may have just been there because it was Easter, after all. But the most interesting reference of all is Mercy the Vulture, who, as many people have pointed out, is a nod to Waylon Mercy, who inspired Bray Wyatt's original gimmick. Isn't that nice? Oh no, wait, it's terrifying. And then, the masterstroke. A double-barreled atonement. Now, he said, adopting a stance of like guilt and sadness, I used to be a very bad man. He looked downward and he gulped, and the children booed him. In fact, they continued to boo him for longer than you would have thought necessary. Because this isn't just the fake kids saying that they didn't like the old Eater of Worlds gimmick, it's Bray himself acknowledging that the fans were tired of the man who promised the world and yet delivered, I don't know, Gateshead at best. Which made his literal shredding of the old self with a chainsaw even more believable. You forget the buckets of blood, the lisped, lined readings of Sister Abigail, the maggot projections, the exploding TV monitors, the Hell in the Cell holograms, the constant empty threats, the ceaseless gibberage, the hokey lighting effects, the refrigerators, the spooky, silly children. I mean, the list goes on of his mistakes, but yet here he is atoning for all of them. This entire segment was a masterstroke on the WWE's part. Its incredible tonal dissonance of the presentation mirrored this new character's divided mind. This was pure nightmare fuel and so much more effective than any of that swampy bio dross that he'd been kicking out before. And you know what? People are finally talking about him. People care where this is going. This isn't just a man who's going to eat the pin. This is a figure who, at this point of recording, could go the distance. And it was elite acting too. It takes a ton of effort to make discomfort look natural. I mean, it's not going to win any Oscars. I mean, it's the WWE after all, but it stands as being one of the most believable things that the company's got going for it right now, which is mad when you consider the actual content of this. I mean, the video of this skit has done numbers. And I mean, a few days ago, you wouldn't even be thinking about Bray Wyatt, let alone watching his matches. Now it seems people can't get enough of him. But let's just strip away all of the set and look at Bray himself. He is in a career best shape, even though he's masking a bit of it with that dad sweater. He looks healthy, he looks mean, he looks refined, he looks dangerous. This is threatening to be his best run with the company to date, as beyond all of the Husky Harrises and the cult leaders, we now have hope for a balance between in-ring ability and for him to actually make good on his threats. Put simply, he has achieved what he always wanted. He's absolutely terrifying. And if the WWE were being honest about it, they'd acknowledge that this genius creation is something which they are barely capable of in 2019. This sort of incredible reinvention doesn't come about through brilliant matches and feuds. This comes from 50-50 bookings, hokey tired crap, and almost punishing any fans who liked Bray Wyatt, the Swamp Daddy, to the point where the talent had to go hard or go home. It took 5 years for the WWE to kill Bray Wyatt, but at least they have given him the green light to redefine what he is. You know what? Maybe we're wrong. Maybe this is going to be crap. Maybe he's just borrowed from Adult Swim infomercials and just has become a plagiarist, and he'll simply fall foul the moment he steps into the ring. We joked about recently that this could just be leading to a Firefly Funhouse match, which is just the Wyatt compound covered in party streamers where the cockroaches have like googly eyes. It could go that way, and it could be monumentally shite. However, one thing is clear. Under the old gimmick, Bray was dead. He was exposed. I mean, after all, if you pretend to be a supernatural character like The Undertaker, you can't have that talent lose so much. Each loss, each taste of the pin dilutes the horror to the point of parody. You become a joke, and an even bigger one when you're back on TV the next night telling people to believe and follow the buzzards as you take on a new opponent who you might again lose to. So in the Firefly Funhouse, Bray took a chainsaw to his old doughy self and sliced him in half. And don't you think that the WWE needs to take this symbolism and apply it to the main roster? Early signs point this to being Wyatt on a career best. And don't worry, we'll be sure to document each step he makes, but just remember, there are more than one meaning to the word push in this industry. And whether we'll be seeing Bray Wyatt join the Fireflies or simply become one of the security guys in years to come, is now up to the bloody swaying thumb of Vince McMahon. But just remember though, Daniel Bryan has flourished as a heel character because of the creative freedom that he was afforded, and therefore, if the WWE were being honest, they put the world right in Bray Wyatt's hands. And there we go. Thank you very much for watching. That was If the WWE Was Being Honest About Bray Wyatt and the Firefly Funhouse. I truly, truly enjoyed this skit, and I know I'm not alone with that. So fingers crossed that there's some good things coming for Bray Wyatt. A massive thank you to Michael Sidgwick for helping me write this, and you know what, to you at home for watching. Seriously, we couldn't do this without you. So let me give you something back, and that is a small piece of advice. Be kind to yourself, all right? Both physically and mentally, you owe it to yourself to treat yourself as best you possibly can. And if you've got problems, then talk about it. Trust me, people care a lot more than you might think. As always, I've been Jules. You can follow me at RetroJ with a 0 over on Twitter. You have been awesome. Never forget that. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Hello, WhatCulture. My name is Simon Miller, and today I have an announcement so big, so huge, it's gonna shatter the very foundations of your life to the point you may need to phone up a friend and say, I don't even know who I am anymore. I have just heard the news. Have you heard the news? I've heard you out there. I've seen you've been commenting. I've read your tweets, and I can now officially let you know that if you do enjoy Raw ups and downs, if you do enjoy SmackDown ups and downs, that now you'll be able to set your watches to them. You'll be able to make notes in your calendars, because we're gonna have an official time for when they're gonna go live. I know, massive. So Ups and Downs for Raw will go live at 2 p.m. GMT, that's British time, every Tuesday, and they will go live at 2 p.m. GMT every Wednesday for SmackDown. So you don't have to be aimlessly walking around anymore going, what do? I wanna know what got up and what got down and what Seth Rollins did or what AJ Styles is up to. Now you know, 2 p.m. GMT Tuesday, 2 p.m. GMT Wednesdays, Ups and Downs coming at you in the face. I realize what I just said, retract that, keep moving on, and I hope to see you there soon. And I hope that we build an audience so big that if I ever wanted to march an army anywhere in the world, I could, and we'd call it the Ups and Downs Army because I haven't come up with a better name.